What if the most terrifying moment of your life became the foundation for unshakable confidence? Right now, someone is experiencing what psychologists call learned helplessness. That crushing feeling when you realize that powerful people have decided you're a threat and they're systematically working to eliminate you. They're not just disagreeing with you or competing with you, they want you completely destroyed, erased from existence, removed from the story entirely. This isn't paranoia. This is the calculated reality that some people face when they become inconvenient to those in power. 3,000 years ago, King David experienced the ultimate version of this nightmare. The king of Israel sent professional assassins to surround his house and kill him while he slept. But instead of panicking or surrendering, David did something that modern trauma therapists are just beginning to understand. He transformed his terror into a weapon by changing his perspective on who was really in control. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why being surrounded by enemies can become your greatest strategic advantage. How David turned his house into a fortress by shifting from victim thinking to warrior thinking. And most importantly, why understanding the psychology of divine protection can give you supernatural confidence even when everyone wants you to fail. Welcome to another deep dive into learning English through Bible, where we uncover the most advanced psychological strategies and sophisticated language patterns hidden in ancient texts. Today we're exploring Psalm 59. And here's what makes this absolutely crucial for English learners. David takes us through a complete psychological transformation from helpless victim to confident warrior using some of the most powerful emotional vocabulary in the English language. This psalm demonstrates how native speakers use repetition, metaphorical language, and escalating confidence to completely reframe dangerous situations. If you want to understand how English speakers transform fear into strength through words, how to express defiance in the face of overwhelming odds, and how to build unshakable confidence through repetitive declaration, you've discovered pure gold. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. You're about to learn language patterns that will transform how you respond to intimidation, opposition, and seemingly impossible situations for the rest of your life. The historical context of Psalm 59 reads like a thriller novel. King Saul has finally decided that David must die, so he sends armed soldiers to David's house with orders to kill him. But here's what makes this situation psychologically fascinating. David's wife, Michal, who happens to be Saul's daughter, helps David escape through a window and then creates a fake David in the bed using household items to buy him time. David escapes, but he knows they'll be back. He's now a marked man with a price on his head, and the most powerful person in the country wants him dead. This psalm is David processing the reality that he's moved from being inconvenient to being marked for elimination. And his response reveals profound insights about how to maintain psychological strength when facing organized, systematic persecution. David opens with desperate urgency. Deliver me from my enemies, O God. Be my fortress against those who are attacking me. The word deliver is stronger than save. It implies being pulled out of danger by external force. Be my fortress is military language asking God to function as defensive architecture, like castle walls that can withstand siege warfare. Those who are attacking me uses present continuous tense. This isn't a past threat or potential future danger. This is happening right now, ongoing, active persecution. This teaches English learners how to express immediate, current danger using precise verb tenses and military metaphors. The intensity escalates. Deliver me from evildoers and save me from those who are after my blood. David isn't facing people who dislike him or disagree with his politics. He's facing evildoers, people whose core identity is built around causing harm. After my blood is an ancient expression meaning they want to kill him. But it's more personal than just want to kill me. It suggests they want his life force. They want to see him bleed. They want total destruction. This demonstrates advanced English vocabulary for distinguishing between different levels of threat and personal danger. David describes his enemies' behavior. See how they lie in wait for me. Fierce men conspire against me for no offense or sin of mine. Lord, the phrase lie in wait suggests predatory behavior, like animals hiding to ambush prey. Fierce men indicates these aren't just soldiers following orders, these are people who enjoy violence, who are naturally aggressive and dangerous. Conspire against me shows organized, planned, collaborative opposition. The phrase for no offense or sin of mine is David's declaration of innocence. This persecution isn't because he did anything wrong. It's because he represents a threat to their power structure. The injustice becomes clear. I have done no wrong, yet they are ready to attack me. Arise to help me. Look on my plight. The repetition of his innocence, no offense, no sin, done no wrong, emphasizes the complete unfairness of his situation. Ready to attack shows they're prepared, organized, armed, and waiting for the right moment. Arise to help me is David calling on divine intervention, asking God to become active in the situation. Look on my plight is a request for divine attention to his desperate circumstances. David's description of God reveals his theological understanding. Lord God Almighty, you who are the God of Israel, rouse yourself to punish all the nations. Show no mercy to wicked traitors. The title, Lord God Almighty, emphasizes ultimate power and authority. God of Israel reminds God of his covenant relationship with David's people. Rouse yourself is bold language, asking God to wake up and take action. Show no mercy to wicked traitors reveals David's understanding that some people have forfeited their right to mercy through their deliberate, systematic evil. Now David uses animal imagery to describe his enemies. They return at evening, snarling like dogs, and prowl about the city. See what they spew from their mouths. The words from their lips are swords, and they think, who can hear us? The metaphor of enemies as wild dogs is perfect. They're pack hunters who become more dangerous at night. They make threatening sounds. They roam looking for prey. Spew from their mouths suggests their words are like vomit, disgusting, toxic, uncontrolled. Words from their lips are swords shows that their primary weapons are verbal. They use speech to wound and kill. Who can hear us? Reveals their arrogance. They think they can plot in secret without divine observation. David's confidence begins to emerge. But you laugh at them, Lord. You scoff at all those nations. This is a crucial psychological shift. David stops focusing on his enemy's power and starts focusing on God's perspective. The verbs laugh and scoff suggest that what seems terrifying to David is actually amusing to God. This teaches English learners how to use perspective shifts to reframe threatening situations, moving from ground-level fear to aerial-view confidence. The declaration of trust builds. You are my strength. I sing praise to you. You, God, are my fortress, my God on whom I can rely. Notice the progression. my strength, my fortress, my God on whom I can rely. Each phrase builds on the last, creating layers of confidence. I sing praise to you is David's decision to worship in the middle of danger, using music as a weapon against fear. This demonstrates advanced English vocabulary for expressing different types of dependence and trust. David's prayer for justice becomes specific. God will go before me and will let me gloat over those who slander me. The phrase, go before me, means God will lead the way. Clear the path, handle the obstacles first. Let me gloat over those who slander me might seem vindictive, but gloat here means to see vindication, to witness justice, to have his innocence publicly proven. This teaches English learners vocabulary for expressing desires for public vindication rather than private revenge. The strategy becomes clear. Do not kill them, or my people will forget. In your might make them wander about, and bring them down, O Lord our shield. David asks for his enemies to be defeated but not eliminated. He wants them to serve as ongoing examples of what happens to those who oppose divine justice. Make them wander about suggests confusion, loss of direction, inability to accomplish their goals. Bring them down means to humble them, remove their power, expose their weakness. David analyzes his enemies' character for the sins of their mouths. For the words of their lips, let them be caught in their pride. For the curses and lies they utter, consume them in your wrath. Consume them till they are no more. The phrase sins of their mouths identifies their primary weapon and weakness. They use words to harm others, but those same words will trap them. Caught in their pride suggests that arrogance will be their downfall. The repetition of consume them shows intensity of desire for complete elimination of their power. The vision expands globally. Then it will be known to the ends of the earth that God rules over Jacob. David sees his personal vindication as having universal significance. When God delivers him from organized persecution, it will prove divine justice to the entire world. This teaches English learners how to connect personal experiences to broader principles and global implications. The animal imagery returns. They return at evening snarling like dogs and prowl about the city. They wander about for food and howl if not satisfied, but now David's tone has changed. He's not afraid of these dogs anymore. The image of them wandering and howling suggests they've become pathetic rather than threatening. This demonstrates how repeated metaphors can shift from expressing fear to expressing contempt. The psalm concludes with triumphant confidence, but I will sing of your strength. In the morning I will sing of your love, for you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. You are my strength. I sing praise to you. You, God, are my fortress, my God on whom I can rely. The progression from they return at evening danger time. 2 in the morning I will sing victory time shows complete transformation. The repetition of my fortress and my strength creates what English teachers call a circular structure, ending where you began, but at a higher level of understanding. What makes Psalm 59 psychologically remarkable is David's transformation from victim mentality to warrior mindset without changing his circumstances. He's still surrounded, still in danger, still facing organized persecution. But his perspective has shifted from ground level to aerial view, from human power to divine power, from temporary threat to eternal protection. The language patterns demonstrate advanced English techniques for building confidence through repetition. David repeats key phrases, my fortress, my strength, Deliver me until they become declarations of faith, rather than desperate requests. This shows English learners how repetition can function as self-programming, gradually changing our emotional response to threatening situations. David's use of animal metaphors teaches sophisticated vocabulary for describing human behavior. His enemies are fierce men who behave like snarling dogs that prowl and howl. These aren't just creative descriptions, they're psychological. Analysis revealing the bestial nature of systematic persecution. People who organize to destroy innocent individuals have reduced themselves to predatory animal behavior. The progression from deliver me to I will sing of your strength shows complete psychological transformation accomplished entirely through changing focus and vocabulary. David doesn't wait for his circumstances to improve. He changes his language, shifts his attention, and declares victory before seeing it. This demonstrates the power of words to alter emotional reality even when external reality remains threatening. For English learners, Psalm 59 provides vocabulary and structures for discussing persecution, systematic opposition, and the psychological transformation from victim to victor. David demonstrates how to express immediate danger, how to build arguments for innocence, how to request divine intervention, and how to declare confidence in ultimate victory. The contemporary relevance is profound. In our age of cancel culture, social media persecution, and systematic character assassination, David's experience provides a roadmap for psychological survival. His analysis of enemies who spew from their mouths and use words like swords perfectly describes modern techniques of reputation, destruction, and social elimination. David's insight that his enemies think who can hear us reveals the arrogance of those who engage in systematic persecution. They believe they can operate in secret, coordinate attacks without oversight, destroy people without consequences. But David's confidence in divine observation and ultimate justice provides hope for anyone facing organized opposition. The strategy of asking God not to kill his enemies but to make them wander about demonstrates sophisticated thinking about justice. David wants vindication, not vengeance. He wants his persecutors to serve as ongoing examples of what happens to those who abuse power, rather than being eliminated and forgotten. Most importantly, Psalm 59 teaches that being surrounded by enemies can become your greatest strategic advantage if you understand who is really in control of the situation. David's house was surrounded by assassins, but David's life was surrounded by divine protection. When you shift perspective from human threats to divine security, what seems like overwhelming opposition becomes evidence of how important you are to the ultimate purposes of justice in the world.